Good morning, students. Today we are going ahead with our third lecture on National Prejudices by Oliver Goldsmith. So far, we have read that Oliver Goldsmith has given us a kind of introduction to himself, that he has been a traveling kind of person, and due to this habit, he happens to be visiting the taverns or the restaurants or the hotels or these places of public interest. And there, as it happened that once he has fallen in the company of some half a dozen people who has been discussing about some political affair, and during the discussion the talk has also moved towards the topic as to which countries people are having good qualities, having good characteristics, and a gentleman among them, in a very airy manner, in a very supposed supremacy acquired, and then he says that okay, in all the good qualities of the world, the English people are the best. To this, the writer or the speaker of our essay has assumed a kind of indifference so that he should not be asked to say anything on this thing, because he said that I don't want to deprive the gentleman of his imaginary happiness, because except the author, all the other persons have received that remark with a very happy face, in a very approving manner. So, let's go ahead. But my pseudo patriot had no mind to let me escape so easily. The speaker or the author, what he said, that just to avoid myself to be a part of such a conversation, of such a discussion, what I did, that I just leaned my head on my hand and assumed that as if I have been thinking something else and I haven't heard what he had spoken. But that person, that pseudo patriot, as the writer is calling him, that pseudo patriot, that false patriot, had no mind to let me escape so easily. That person who has made that declaration and whose declaration was greeted so warmly by others, he has this thing in his mind that no, I will not allow you to go that much easily from here. Or so what he did, or what he says, that not satisfied that his opinion should pass without contradiction, he was determined to have it ratified by the suffrage of everyone in the company. He says, okay, it was quite all right that no one has objected to his speech, to his declaration, but still he was not satisfied with this thing, that no one has contradicted his speech, that no one has spoken in opposition to his idea, in no one was having any difference with his ideas, but still he was not satisfied. He was determined to have it ratified. What he wanted, he wanted that everyone should rate it, everyone should give it a score, everyone should give their ideas in support of his idea, of everyone in the company. What he wanted, he want that everyone should say similar words, should say supporting words of his idea, and for which purpose, addressing himself to me with an air of inexpressible confidence, he asked me if I was not in the same way of thinking. And that's why, means as the five other people, they have very warmly greeted it, and I was just trying to pose as if I haven't heard him, as if I haven't been listening to his declaration. But he was not that much easily satisfied that okay, one is indifferent and the five one are in support. He just want it to be supported by each and everyone, because this is what how he is trying to show his patriotism, to show his national love. So for that purpose, he addressed himself to me and asked with an air of inexpressible confidence, means such a great confidence he has on himself, or what we can say on his declaration on the superiority of English nation, that with such a great confidence he asked me if I was not in the same way of thinking, as if I am also not thinking the same. This is what he wanted to know from me, that whether I am thinking anything else, or do I support that or not. This is what he just asked me, that am I not thinking in the same direction as he has spoken of, as he has told of. I am never forward in giving my opinion, especially when I have reason to believe that it will not be agreeable. And the writer, the speaker of the incident, what he says, that I am never forward in giving my opinion. Generally, this is my general habit, that I don't give my opinions so easily, or I'm not that much agile, that much forward in giving my opinions whenever I have got the opportunity, and especially when I have reason to believe that it will not be agreeable. When I have reasons to believe this thing, that what I am going to say will not be agreed upon by the company. When I knew this thing, when I already knew this thing, that what I am going to say or what I am going to speak will not be welcome by the people of the company, they will not agree to my ideas, perhaps they will not having the same kind of sentiments or the same kind of feelings. So at such occasions I don't want to give my opinions, but here he was forced to give. So when I am obliged to give it, I always hold it for a maxim to speak my real sentiments. So he says, but still, when I am forced to give my opinion, when I was asked to give my opinion, then in such cases, when I know that I will not be supported by others, I will not be a welcome in my ideas. So at such moments, I hold it for a maxim to speak my real sentiments. So at such occasions, I took help of the maxims to speak up my real sentiments. Hiding my real sentiments means not speaking what I really feel or what I really want to say. I try to speak it with the help of maxims, with the help of sayings, with the help of those famous wordings of the famous people. So I therefore told him that for my own part I should not have ventured to talk in such a peremptory strain unless I had made the tour of Europe and examined the matter of these several nations with great care and accuracy. So he says, just to avoid that thing, just to avoid saying anything straightforward to them, what I did, I therefore told that gentleman that for my own part, if you are speaking for me and if it is to be decided by me, then I should not have ventured to talk in such a peremptory strain. Peremptory means authoritative, in a very supreme kind of that authority with which you have spoken. I would not have spoken about it in such an authoritative strain, such an authoritative way. Why? Unless I had made the tour of Europe. Because before speaking up something of this sort and in this manner, I would have liked to made a tour of Europe myself and examined the manners, the cultures, the habits, the customs of these several nations with great care and accuracy. Be until or unless I have seen, I have met, I have talked about, I have witnessed the habits, the characters, the cultural aspects of these nations, how could I say such a thing with such a great authority, with such a great confidence? So, this is what I try to say, that until or unless I would have visited all these countries of the Europe continent, I would not have spoken anything of this sort in such an authoritative manner. That perhaps a more impartial judge would not scruple to affirm that the Dutch were more frugal and industrious, the French more temperate and polite, the Germans more hardy and patient of labor and fatigue, and the Spaniards more staid and sedate than the English. And he says that in my views, if a person had visited these countries by himself and have examined them with great care and accuracy, then perhaps that impartial judge means having no partiality towards one specific country, then uh, he would not scruple, he would not hesitate to affirm this thing, that the Dutch were more frugal and industrious. Means what this person had said, that Dutch were a parcel of avaricious wretches. इसने क्या कहा था कि डच लोग जो है वो लालची हैं, है ना? But what he says, that an impartial judge, if he is supposed to judge these things, and after examining them in a very accurate and a very careful manner, then he would have affirmed this thing, that the Dutch were more frugal and industrious. They are quite hard working, they are quite frugal, they don't spend too much, they are also having a habit of saving money. And the French more temperate and polite. And the French, he had spoken that the French are a set of fluttering sycophants, but he says that the French are quite temperate, they are quite temper-minded, means they are quite cool, they are not that much headstrong, they are not that much easily disturbed person, and they are polite also. The Germans more hardy and patient of labor and fatigue. The Germans are also hard working and they are very patient of labor and fatigue. And what he said about Germans, that they are drunkards and beastly gluttons. And the Spaniards, they are more staid and sedate. The Spaniards are quite relaxed and a very calm and cool type of people. But what he said, that Spaniards are proud and haughty and rude tyrants. Then the English, means they people are having these quality more than the English people, who, though undoubtedly brave and generous, English person, he is talking about the Englishman now, that the English persons are no doubtly brave and generous, bravery, generosity, these two qualities I also affirm, that the English persons are brave and they are generous, were at the same time rash, headstrong and impetuous. But they are rash. They are rash in their decisions. They are not patient. They are headstrong. They are not that kind of cool person. They are not sedate. They are headstrong and they are impetuous. They are impulsive, too apt to be elated with prosperity and too despond in adversity. He says English people, they are not that much patient. They become happy when they become prosper, and they become sad when they are in any kind of adversity. So he says that that is not the real thing which you have spoken, and I cannot speak of this thing in such a authoritative manner or in such a confident manner until or unless I have examined these things myself, because an impartial judge would obviously say these things, that to speak of these things he must have a very careful examination. Thank you.